Okay, welcome back. Okay, so that was the multiplication chart and the multiplication board. Similar to our addition charts and subtraction charts, you also have something called as multiplication charts or the multiplication table. So this is what it looks like, and you have the numbers filled in. This is your multiplication chart. Okay, so when you ask me what is the name of this particular chart, what is the name of this particular chart? Is it chart 3, chart 4, chart 5? What is it? Chart 3. Okay. So chart 3 will always have numbers that is filled in. So what you need to do for children, you have to show them that children, this is chart 3 and this is chart 4. This is chart 5. So this is chart 3. So how will they identify? You tell them in chart 3, numbers are pre-filled. Okay. So numbers will be filled completely on it. So you show the children the material. You tell them, okay, we are going to perform the multiplication using this chart. And you can come back to your place. And along with this material, you should also have slips or labels. Now, why do I have to have labels? Because I need to give them the problem statement, correct? So I pick up that slips. I can have it in my tray or in my basket. I bring it. Now, what do I do? Now, say, suppose if I give you the problem 5 into 4. If I give you the problem 5 into 4, you have to teach the children where they have to put their fingers, like the right index on which number, the left index on which number. Okay. So if it is 5 into 4, you always start with the blue color. Always with the blue color. So your right index finger is on the top, the blue 5, and your left index finger will be on your red color.
Red.
Get them down, and that is 20. Has everybody marked this? 5
Yes.
into 4. Has everybody marked? Okay, let's do another one. So that was our 5 into 4. Give me the next one.
8 into 6.
8 into 6. Okay. 8 into 6. Is everybody with me?
Yes, ma'am.
8, 6,
48. 48.
8 into 6. Okay, so what did we do? Our first finger was here on the blue color, and the second one was on 6, right? So this is my 8 into 6. 48, correct?
Yeah.
So this is my 8 into 6. Now, how do I write my 6 into 8? 6 into 8. My first finger on 6. My second finger on
8.
8. So where do I come? I come here. So
The same 48.
the same 48, but take a look at the positions. It is different. So 6 into 8 is different and 8 into 6 is different. So you need to teach children that also. Okay, so 8 into 6 and 6 into 8. Okay, that differences is what we got to be teaching them. So that covers our multiplication first chart. Okay, so that's our chart 3. And are there other kinds of charts that we actually have it? Definitely, yes. We do have the other charts also. We have chart 4, chart 5, chart 6, which again goes as a blank charts. Okay. So this is the first thing that you will teach. Then in the next charts, you will not have numbers which has been written onto it. And you can ask the children to fill the numbers accordingly and always keep reference charts. Okay. So just like how you have your addition and subtraction charts, you will also have your multiplication charts, which goes as a reference for you. So this is again the second kind of a reference chart for the references. Make these kinds of simple problem statements for children. Let the children make the answers out of it. Okay. So these are one thing that we got to do. So this is chart 4 or 5. This is chart 4. Okay. This is chart 4. Can you see now 3, 4 and 5? Chart 3 is always filled. Chart 4 is half filled. Chart 5 is blank. Okay. So whenever you have blank, you will also have answer cards that needs to be kept. This also comes with problem statements. You can pick up the problem statement and you can work on it. Now, this is very interesting. You can also use a grid kind of a formation. to help your children perform multiplication. 2, 1 is what they'll write the answer to. 2, 2 is what they'll write the answer for. 2, 3 is what they'll write the answer 6. Okay, so they can also have this multiplication wheel, which is not there in your syllabus, but most of the schools do integrate it with it. I hope you got what I was telling. Did you get what I told you with this, how to write it?
Yes.
Yes. So you will write it here. The center is a table. Okay, so that becomes your multiplicand. So you'll write here. Multiplier, you will write it here. And then you will write your answer on the last circle. Yes, no, you got it? Or you want me to write it?
Can you write it and show it, ma'am?
Yes, I'll show. Now, can you see here? This is a table 2.
Okay, got it. Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 2 one time, you will write the answer above 1. 2 times, you will write the answer above 2, 4. 2 3 times, you'll write the answer there 6. 2 4 times is 8. So this is your multiplication wheel. Okay. So you can do it like an activity for the children. So children will always find it very boring, no, to write answers in this fashion. In this fashion, they find it very boring sometimes. So you can also print your worksheet in the wheel format and you can give it for them to practice. So this is one. So you can do it up till the table of your 9. Okay. So that helps. Whatever could be there, you have to work for children in terms of communication, right? So talk to your children, see if it is very hard for them, okay? And always listen to their concerns and get back. Never assume that they know everything and never say, I told you yesterday, because multiplication, addition, subtraction, so many operations, sometimes it can be tricky for children, correct? So this is something that we need to always have. So work on your voice mechanism, have a mellowed down voice, okay? So do not increase your voice, raise your voice. Today somebody came and told me, ma'am, I raised my voice on one child because the child was not at all listening to me. I said, that's absolutely okay. And then after some time, she came back and she said, I went and I called the parent and I told the parent also that your child was not listening and I had to raise my voice. I said, okay, that's a good thing. Why did the teacher do that? Because the child goes and tells everything to the parent. And before the parent can come back and tell that, why did you say this to my daughter? The teacher itself called and said, this is what happened in the class. And because of that, I had to raise my voice. Okay. One thing that the teacher used there was like, she said, I shouted on the child. Okay. So where is the correction? You did not shout. You raised your voice on the child. So always use the right words when you're trying to communicate something. When somebody hears, like, I shouted on your daughter or son, it doesn't sound right. So use the rightful words and tell the parent in that way that, I raise my voice. It's absolutely okay. So using the rightful words it becomes easier for you to work and understand with children. So these are the 5 or 6 materials for today. Subtraction strip board, subtraction chart 3 and 4, multiplication board, multiplication chart 3, 4 and 5. Okay, all this you got to write in your books and share your observations. Clear, everyone? So these are the materials for today. I think we have covered a little quicker today. So you can ask me anything which is out of the syllabus also. We still have time. We still have another 10-15 minutes.
Ma'am, could you please share these videos with us? Recorded videos.
Okay, recorded videos. I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you. Anything that you need?
Ma'am?
Last week class also, ma'am, because it is a Diwali celebration, so I went to native.
I also missed.
Okay, who's this? Class. Who's this? Who is speaking? I missed.
Niveta, ma'am.
Niveta. Okay, last week's you need Niveta. Okay, I will send it in the group, guys. Okay.
Ma'am, I also missed the class, Purni. So
Purni. Okay, so I will send last class and this class both.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. Anything we have missed. And somebody was asking me about, where is that? Shweta Patnaik?
Yes, ma'am. The theory question paper.
Okay. So Shweta was also asking me, how would the paper look like? Especially the practical paper, what we should write, and the theory paper, how much we should write, a 3-mark answer, a 4-mark answer, what should you write and how do you write? Okay. The question over here is like, we are not looking at the marks over here. The second thing what you need to understand is it is not a Indian style the examination, because all your papers will be sent to the examination references where the US people would be correcting. So what they would always see is like, it's not how much you write, how big you write, it's about the content. Okay, so you can't come back and tell me, should I write within 100 marks or should I write within 120 marks, 100 marks? No. You can take 1 page also, you can take 2 page also, or you can write in half a page also. But is your content correct? Look at the marks. If it's like a 8 mark, it has to be in detail. Even if the question is very straight, like what is the Montessori miracle? You can't say children appeared for the exam and thankfully like everybody passed with the above average score, and because of that it was considered to be as the Montessori miracle. No, you can't write that for an 8 mark. So that is the intent, that is the purpose of how it was a miracle in Montessori. But what inspired Dr. Montessori to become such a lady, so that she becomes the inspiration and this kind of a miracle does happen. So you got to link with everything. Okay, after finishing her schooling here, getting into scholar entre Francia, to joining as a surgical assistant, learning the concepts from Gianetta and Edward Seguin, and then starting up the school, right? And she makes the below average students, like whoever was neurodiverse, she makes them to appear for the examinations, and luckily everybody passes. So that means her style of education was educating through senses, not through the intellect. So that was the agenda behind this particular question, and that becomes the Montessori miracle. Okay, so you got to understand how the question is. Sometimes the straightforward questions can be trickier, and elaborate and write depending upon the number of marks that you actually get it. Now, coming down to the question papers itself, the pattern of paper will not differ very much. So at least like 3 to 4 years, they usually don't change, correct? So that's there. And I'll give you, if at all, if I have my theory paper. Give me 1 second, I'll show you how it comes. Okay, if it's like the practical, or if it's like okay, this is an EPL paper that I have picked up. So what they usually give is like no mobile phones, or if you bring your mobile phones also, you got to submit as per the basic examination rules. 20 minutes for writing, 20 minutes for demonstration. It's a 40 minutes paper. Sometimes we extend another 5 more minutes depending upon the number of students taking up, because 20 minutes you can't finish demonstration sometimes, because if the question is not an open question and if the student is expected to write everything, they do get that extra 5 minutes. Always use only blue and black. What is the how do you pick question is always in the form of chit. Okay, so you would get, say, suppose in case if my 10 students are writing exam in this batch, we will get 11 questions. 1 question is extra. So each one of you will pick only 1. Okay. So, and you will answer. Say, suppose if you get a question oral, how do you introduce silence lesson in the classroom? So this is a practical paper. Okay. So how would you introduce silence lesson? Before you introduce silence, you have to create noise. So you can clap, you can jump, you can shout, you can scream. The teacher will have to be versatile there. right? So you create noise and then you say like shh, through gestures, through sounds. You have to demonstrate. So this is a generic question. Why I'm telling you this is like, don't completely be onto books. Sometimes even the simplest things can sound very difficult for each one of you. So always think in a teacher's perspective. If at all, if you want to make your children to be quiet in the class, what you have to do? You always, the teachers can pat on the desk. Sometimes they use the duster to bang so that the sound is created. Then the children become quiet. So how do you introduce that silence lesson in the classroom? So we have that. So take a look at each one of them, pick up a chit and you will start writing. So this is one, okay, for the practical part of it. Now, if it is like, what is that? The theory will be again depending on what it could be. What I would say. How do you write? Let me complete of this. How do you write each of your observation is in this way. Can you see my screen, everyone?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you? Yeah. So this is how your answer sheet will be. Okay. So your answer sheet will have like this in theory. Okay. There are 3 sections. Complete the following, state the true or false and answer the following questions. So these are the 3 sections. Now this will be given to you and you will have to write the answers. Question paper can be as simple as this. 3 sections, state the true or false, answer the following questions, and sometimes you also get art and craft. So depending on what mark it is, you please write accordingly. That helps all of you to work on. Okay. Shweta?
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah. So chapter by chapter, you can prepare. Lesson by lesson, you can prepare. Since we are working on the math practical, start preparing. So whatever exercises that I'm doing each day, refer to your books also. And start writing. And people who have got completed their art album signed is Prasanna. And who have completed is Shweta Patnaik and Shikha Gupta.
Me, ma'am.
Niveta
Yeah.
also.
And Niveta
I'm
also.
also.
Okay. Niveta, but you didn't collect the bona fide, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Bona fide.
Even I didn't
Anytime
collect
that you're
ma'am.
coming this side, you collect it, okay? Whenever are your next
Okay, ma'am.
submissions, you remind me to give you a bona fide at that time. I'll help you
Okay.
with that. Yeah. That's it. Other online students, try to make good notes. Whenever there is a possibility, please submit. Okay? Try to write and submit at the earliest. Any other generic doubts? Any troubles that you're having it in classes? Anything
Ma'am,
common?
starting,
Yes.
sorry,
Yeah.
ma'am. Starting there, only one question we choose,
Only
20
one
minutes.
question. Practical is only one.
One
100
question,
marks.
20 minutes, 20 minutes
To
writing, 20
write, you
minutes
get
demo.
20 minutes. To demonstrate,
20
you get
minutes
20
demo.
minutes.
Oh, okay.
Ma'am, do they ask Viva from theory part also?
Yeah. Viva can be anything. So the Viva is like, say, suppose if I'm your invigilator and I pick you only. Okay. So I pick you only. And we start asking questions. And it goes just like, Prasanna, tell what is your name? We'll just do a mock Viva. What's your name?
Hello, ma'am. My name is Prasanna.
How are you doing today, Prasanna?
I'm doing great, ma'am.
Okay, so since how long
Do
you're
I need to
with this
ask?
course?
Do I need to
Long-
ask written question also? How are you?
Viva will be always oral.
No, ma'am. When he or she is trying to ask me a question, when they posed a question to me, do I need to ask back how
Like,
they are doing? How are you doing? Thank
okay,
you. How are you doing?
you're asking like, yeah, you
In
can
Viva.
say like, thank you very much, sir. I'm doing very well. And I hope
Okay.
you're doing well too, or I trust you're doing well too. So you can put that, sir. That's okay. You can ask, how are you doing? See, what happens here in Viva is like, their first 2 minutes, 3 minutes, because it's a 100-mark paper. Your Viva is 100 marks. And each participant will get at least 10 minutes or sometimes more than that. So what they will make is like, they'll make sure you are comfortable for the first 2-3 minutes. In that first 2-3 minutes, it will only be like, what are you doing? How long you've been there? What was your favorite subject? Why did you like that particular thing? Out of the 5 areas, what was your favorite? You say, oh, I like language. Okay, why do you like language? I learned so many things about my stories and rhymes and other things. See, whatever words that you're picking, no, the next questions will be based on that.
Okay.
Okay, the Viva is always like conversation building, and then they pick up, oh, you like language. What are the materials that you learned in language? You say, okay, I learned sandpaper letters, I learned movable letters. Then they're like, okay, why do you use movable letters? To construct letters and sentences and other things. Okay, you made sentences. Do you also use chalkboards? Then they're like, yes, we use chalkboards. What about the writing? Do you use 4 lines? If at all, if you're using 4 lines, what are the top line letters? What are the bottom line letters? How do you place and how do you position them? Right? You made a sentence. Now you have to put a full stop. What is this called as? These are all your symbols, right? So you use your full stop, period. Okay, if I'm giving 2 constructive sentences, how do you join them and make a constructive sentence? What about comma? What is the color? Can you write a statement? So your Viva is going to be built on the conversations. You will not even know that they would have asked you so many questions.
Okay.
It just goes on and on. Sometimes you might say, like, if you don't know, you openly say, I'm not very much sure on it. And you should always be positive that, I will learn on that concept. I will get back on that concept. This is something that you will always have to remember, and never panic. If somebody is really not comfortable in explaining in English, you can always ask them, I know this particular concept. If given a chance, if given permission, can I speak in my mother tongue? Right? Because it's a recorded session. So sometimes a teacher is able to express in her own language much better. And then you can do a translation. That is also possible. But never give an impression that you do not know that topic. If you don't know, straight you say, I don't know. If you know, think about it. Take some seconds. Give me a few seconds to think over. Don't be in a hurry. Don't panic to answer. Because it's 100 mark. It's a 100-mark paper. And you never know what they will ask. They might also ask, like, where all Maria traveled, why Maria influenced you so much. Oh, Gianetta, oh, you know him. What else you know about that particular person, right? So kindergarten, kindergarten method. How different is kindergarten to Montessori? Have you worked in kindergarten schools? Why didn't you do an NTT training? Why MTT training? It can be anything. See, Viva, I cannot tell you what it is, because it depends on what conversation the first question starts with. Right? So we don't know on that. Now, say, suppose if they ask you, what is it very challenging for you? Right? Say, suppose if I pick Purni and if I ask her, Purni, there's so many challenges that you're facing in your class. What are the challenges, Purni, that you face in your class?
Sorry. You're asking here, what are the challenges? Yes, basically the first challenge is the accent. Of course, our English and their English may be slightly different, and that accent is one of the greatest challenges I faced in the initial months. And the second one is kids, they have some sort of an attitude, and they are very independent right from the starting. So managing that one, being a teacher in India and being a teacher here, it's completely different, because there the child will be taught to respect the teachers. Here it is not like that. They'll be very independent. They'll show their attitude sometimes, and we have to talk to them in a very tricky way to make them to do the work. That is the second one. And the third one is here we cannot force anything. If they don't want to do even for the whole year, we have to leave, it seems to be. That's what they said. The child is not interested. So among 6 kids, at least 3 to 4 kids are showing that sort of a lethargic behavior. We cannot neither we can force, nor we can sit and work with them, because they don't show interest on that one. So for them, we have to think more and more innovative ways to work with them. So these are all the challenges currently I'm facing, basically. Other than that, but over a period of 2 months, after 2 months, I'm feeling very comfortable with the kids. Now I know how the kids' mentality works and their sitting tolerance and everything. So working with them is a bit becoming easier now.
Okay. See how beautifully she consolidated everything, you know? So these are not challenges, I could say, because it is how the structure has actually been there. And since Pune moved from India to a different country, there is a lot of adaptational changes. And what did you require a lot over there? She needed adaptability because she did not say that, you know, I'm an Indian teacher and I have to be the same way of teaching and other things. So quickly she took up that challenge. She required adaptation and she adapted. And when she was in this process of adaptation, she needed a lot of patience. Indirectly, yes, there is a lot of cultural sensitivity. I totally understand. She mentioned language barriers. Children had their own native accents. And again, communication hurdles sometimes. So, how she would be using her pronunciation when she's actually teaching language based skills, especially when it comes down to phonetics and other things, that's something which is very, very important, right? So, Purni, you've been amazing, doing a good job for
Thank
this
you.
month. You're being very mindful of all those cultural nuances, right?
Thank
So
you.
how well that you're able to engage the children, and
Definitely.
how is your parent communication going on?
Parent interaction is good, ma'am, because they can understand that slightly our accent may be different and other thing, but they could able to understand our sentence formation and everything. But children, they are being taught in the same way. They are a bit confused sometimes.
Yeah. Now
That is the major thing.
we would hear from Purni a sentence in their accent. Let's see on how well she can articulate and repeat.
Okay. How are you doing today? That is the sentence which we often use. Hi, how are you doing today? Is it a good day for you? And what did you have for your big breakfast? So these are all the things usually we used to have in today's
How well she
conversation.
articulated, right? So this is very, very important. So the words are same, but the way that she reproduced the sounds. Did we see the difference in the pronunciation? So the sounds, the way that it has been heard, the way that she reproduced the same sounds of the word is much different, right? So this requires a lot of repetition so that, you know, it in the right way, and the children will also be able to get that. So this accents definitely impact young children's language development. So that's the reason if you have a native accent, so try to modify
Change.
and speak in the rightful accent, because children will pick up whatever you say. They hear, they pick up from you, right? So this is very, very important. So a lot of cultural differences, a lot of curriculum adjustments, definitely yes. Moving to a new country also, you would have had a lot of adjustment to the work environment, your cultural norms. Sometimes do you feel also isolated from your friends and family?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
A lot.
right? So even though we say the teachers are really strong, teachers also often need a strong emotional
Of course.
resilience, I feel, to adapt to these changes and build support networks. Okay. Anyways, I'm very happy, Purni, to you that you've
Thank
been
you,
so
ma'am. Thank you.
flexible, you're so open-minded, and you're
Thank you,
willing
ma'am.
to learn from every possible environment. Okay. So this is what
Thank you.
true Montessorian is. And we definitely need some teachers to share such rewarding experiences, so that, you know, others can also learn like this is how it's going to be. So we have one
Definitely.
international teacher here in our group, so you can definitely get in touch with her, like how is the methodology over there, is there any differences? Definitely yes. So Purni would be a go-to person. If now, you should all know, if you have a teacher in abroad, a very dear friend to all of us is Purni. Okay, and
Yeah.
she's in our group. And any doubts that you have related to that, teaching opportunities or anything, see how different it is, how nicely that they are adapting, what are the new things that they are bringing into learning, and learn from one another. Okay, so that's for today. Thank you, Purna. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
So wonderful, wonderful conversation that we had it with both of them. See, these are the ones that we have to always initiate and talk about. So at least every day, if at all, if we get one particular topic, we get to learn about all these differences. Okay. So
Sure.
yes, and we have Nisha today. So Nisha, if you can on your video. I would like to introduce you to the team. Nisha, are you there? Okay, so Nisha, I think she's only on the audio. Okay, so these are all the working moms and doing multitasking, trying to do the best for the child and for the community. I totally respect all your other commitments. Yes, Nisha is here.
Hi, ma'am.
Nisha, hi. Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yeah, so these are
I
your
joined 5
classes.
minutes late, but I could understand.
You could understand. Okay, amazing. Okay. Anyways, Nisha, you wouldn't miss out a lot of things. She's an early childhood educator already. She's an ECCE member, Nisha. She has worked in the school wherein they were practicing and following the Montessori curriculum, which got integrated with early childhood education. She's worked very close to NCRT curriculums as well. So Nisha wouldn't have missed a lot of content because very much close to whatever you have learned and worked. Okay, you won't see much difference. Only thing is like the materials and manipulatives is what you will find it different, how well you can actually adapt. So wonderful having you, Nisha. So I hope you enjoyed today's class, and it was in between. So probably like you should be able to catch up from the third or the fourth class from now on. Okay. So we finish math. We'll catch up a new lesson. From there is what is your first lesson. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes. Thank you, everybody. So that was Nisha for us. You can say hi and to all your teammates.
Hi, Nisha.
Hi.
Yes. Okay.
Hello.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a great evening, all of you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Yes,
Last week recording kindly.
I will send it to you. I'll send it to you last week's and today's also. Okay.
Thank you.
Good evening. Bye-bye, guys.